Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody had a fantastic Mother's Day. I sure did. It was very busy. I work in a garden shop, so I had to work most of it, but my family was very sweet, very loving. They brought me flowers at work, and also last night my boys had a piano recital. It's my youngest son's first piano recital, and he was so nervous. He was actually crying leading up to the recital, so he did so good though. Like, it worked out well, so we're happy about that. So it was a great Mother's Day, and it was awesome to see my kids grow up and be talented young adults and young men. So today I want to talk to you about what should our foster kids call us? Should they call us mom and dad? Should they call us like by our first name? Should they call us auntie or uncle? And why I'm thinking about this is about 4 years ago I was celebrating my first Mother's Day. I was a foster mom, and Augie and Nay just came to live with us. And it was like a month after they came and lived with us, and they were calling us Chad and Winter, and that's totally was fine with us, and that was totally, like, we're just like, whatever they want, whatever makes them feel comfortable, because they came straight from their parents to live with us, so we were just trying to, like, you know, make them feel comfortable. But then Mother's Day came around, and I just felt strange, a little strange, because I went to church, and everyone, like, they were like, if you're a mother in this room, raise your hand, and, like, all of a sudden I was like, oh, am I a mom? Like, is that me? And like, what are the kids gonna think if I raise my hand? So I just like paused for a moment, and then all of a sudden, my 5-year-old, he made me raise my hand. So, and he like I was his mother in that moment. So this was really a super powerful like moment for me. I cried a little bit. It was really, really awesome because my kids are so sweet, and they recognized me as mom, even though they called me by my first name, Winter. So it gets a little bit like on uncharted territories when you're parenting other people's kids. So like, what should they call you? Does it matter if they call you something? How does it make you feel? For me, honestly, it doesn't matter if they call me Winter or if they call me mom, and it honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. But so for the first few years, Augustine and Nay, they called us Winter and Chad. That's when they were in foster care, and then their counselor, when we were about to adopt them, said it's time for them to start calling you mom and dad, and so encouraged us to tell them to call us mom and dad. So we encouraged the boys from that point, when they started the adoption process, to call us mom and dad instead of Chad and Winter, and that's when they started to. It was really cute actually watching them like transition from calling me Winter to mom. Like my youngest, my Nene, he would say mom, and I'd be like, what do you need, son? And he'd be like, hi. He was just like totally just playing with it, practicing that phrasing, and it was really a sweet transition, and it worked out really well for them. Later we had a foster child come into care, and they're really young. They instantly called me mommy, because anytime when they're really young, I think that you should just let them call you mommy, because you are mom to them in that moment, and that's a legit need for them to call someone mommy at all times. They probably won't ever remember you when they are that young anyways, so you just need to be their mom in that moment and be Jesus to them and hold them and love them, rock them, wake up at night with them. That's what you have to do for those younger ones. Our newest placement is a little different. When they came into care, they're a little bit younger than Augustine and they were. They called us mom and dad right away. They're 4 and 6 when they came into care, and you know, like at first I was like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Like, is it okay for them to call me mom and dad right now? Or is it like, is it weird for them? So we just rolled with it, whatever made them feel more comfortable. Recently they started calling us by our first names a little bit. I think they just like couldn't remember our first names, but they also had been in care a little bit longer than Augustine and Nay. They had 2 foster families before they came into our care. So a part of that is like, they're desperate for a mom and dad at this point, and their mom doesn't have rights to them anymore, and they know that, and they need mom and dad. They honestly need to call someone that, so we just let them call us mom and dad, and that makes them feel more secure and more loved. And so honestly, I don't know exactly what like the best answer to that question is. I would say whatever is the best for the kids. My 14-year-old, he still calls me Winter probably 10% of the time, but most of the time he calls me mom. It's just, that's who he knows me as for the first 2 years of our relationship, so sometimes he calls me Winter. So, but I don't let it like bother me. I just let them follow the lead and take advice of counselors and other people just to know exactly where to go. I know some people have their foster kids call them auntie and uncle. I don't know, that feels kind of weird to me because I'm not their aunt and uncle. I actually am their mom right now in this moment. So it just, whatever works for you. But don't take it personally if they don't, because they might not be ready to do that yet. Because our kids, they still refer to their bio mom by their first name, or sometimes they call them my mom, like when they're talking to me, just to refer to them as that. And other than that, I am mom. So that's a little confusing. But anyways, I want to end this video with this really sweet story. No matter what they call you, they still need a mom and dad. And our 4-year-old little girl, she's in foster care right now. She was so proud of herself. She just cleaned her room, and I came home from work. I was on like a little lunch break, and she grabs my hand, and she was so excited to show me her room, and her room's upstairs. And then she saw Chad, she calls him Dad, and she saw him, and she said, Dad, and she grabs his hand too. And then she like takes both of her hands, and she like just realizes that she has a mom and a dad like holding her hands. And like she just like walks us up to the stairs, and she's like laughing hysterically the entire way. She just like enjoyed that moment so much, because probably her whole life she's never had a mom and dad in both hands before, and that was just so powerful to her. So no matter what our children call us, we just need to be moms and dads to them, because in the moment you are their only hope for a mom and dad in that moment. So anyways, that's all my thoughts for the day. I hope everyone had a fantastic Mother's Day. I sure did. And anyways, just let me know what your kids call you. Just put it in the comments below. That'd be awesome to see. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys.